Well, alright guys, I bring you some unfortunate news, and obviously a little bit disappointed. I had a rough go so far of my long drive career. So I picked up my driver from the golf shop the other day, and I put on this new shaft, this LD 30 plus shaft. So I was obviously, very excited to get it, and I took it out and I hit one ball. And I was like, gee, that doesn't sound right. From my baseball background, I know when a bat goes dead or when it's cracked, just from the sound it makes and how it feels, almost like it stings. So then I take a closer look and I inspect it a little bit. I'm like, gee, there are some pretty large cracks on my driver head. I'm like, those were not there before. So needless to say, and I don't know if you could see it here, kind of tough, but kind of goes all the way around. Zoom and focus there a little bit. Hard to see with the black, but there are some noticeable, like the paint's even scratched and everything, and they were not there. So from my perspective, that probably happened when they changed out my shaft. Now what I did do, I looked it up on the internet to see how you could tell if your driver head is broken or not, and I submerged it in water just for like a minute, and then I shook it, and then it's obviously water was in there. And then I tilted the driver head to where like the cracks were on the bottom, and water was in fact dripping out. So that means I am no longer long driving right now. I'm gonna head to the store tomorrow and see what they say. I did not buy this driver head from them, but when I took it to them, it obviously was not cracked. The shaft was broken, the head was not broken. So that's where I'm at with that. They most likely broke my head. And hopefully, at least what I'm praying for, is that they will reimburse me the money for breaking my head. It's either that or I'm out 315 bucks, which would suck. Just because, I'm already pretty deep in the hole with all this stuff. So yeah, broken head, week 2, long driving. Not a good way to start. All right, so I did want to just flip it around here, so you guys could see this a little bit better. Hard to focus, but you see that huge crack right here. And that's partially a glare because it's right on the side. But then also right here, there's a big crack and it just kind of loops around and then it goes on the top as well. So that's where the water was coming out right here. You can kind of see it a little bit better this angle, but all cracked, all cracked. Obviously being on the back side of the shaft is not where I'm hitting the balls. So yep, that's where it is broken. Hopefully they freaking give me my money for it. Alright, so I'm back. Went to J&M this morning. Long story short, they pretty much said I suck at golf. I broke the club from hitting the ball. And then the guy that I was dealing with, he was a kid, and he wouldn't even look at me. I'm like, bro, can you like look me in the face when you're trying to talk to me here? And I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, look, this club wasn't broken when I brought it to you. Now it's broken. And he was like, nope, that didn't happen. Like, you broke it. So we went back and forth for a few minutes, and I could tell it wasn't gonna go anywhere. So I'm like, all right, just give me the freaking manager's card and I'll call him tomorrow because he was out of town today. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I left there pretty mad. I didn't like throw a fit in the store or anything, but I was upset because he was just trying to like push me out the door, damn near. Then I waited for Crank to open today. They're in Arizona, so I had to wait a few hours after I went to the golf shop. And I talked to my main man, Trey, from Crank. Not that he's ever going to see this, but man, what customer service. Trey, you're the man. If you ever see this. Probably not, though. Anyway, talked to Trey, told him what happened. And I just said, hey, I got the club, and it's broken, man. Had it less than 30 days. He's like, no problem, Brandon. We'll send you a new one. Only problem is that we're not getting those clubs in for a while, those heads back in, because they're just, out of stock or whatever. He's like, it'll be a few months. And I'm like, oof, man, rough. So I said, hey, Trey, quick question for you, man. I said, you guys launched these new drivers pretty much a day after I ordered mine. And I said, I'm kind of interested in the adjustable ones, just for competition purposes. You could drop it down, you could increase it, whatever. What about that? He's like, hey, well, let me talk to my general manager. So he puts me on hold again, and I'm like, he apologized, and I'm like, Trey, you're helping me out, man. You take all the time you need. So he gets back on the phone after, 30 seconds. He's like, Brandon, how does $99 sound for upgrading that to the new club. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. So we exchanged information, credit card information, whatever. And then he said, well, you know, we haven't got those in yet. You know, you can go ahead and place the order. It'll be about 3 weeks because they have to test the clubs and everything when they come in and obviously ship them out. So I'm looking at about 3 to 4 weeks of downtime. But at least I get one of their new fire drivers. So I'm gonna have a new adjustable fire driver, and I'm getting the 4 degree instead. That way I could increase it to 6 or drop it down to 3. I like that a lot better. So that's where I'm at right now. It's gonna be a 3 to 4 week layup. So I'm probably looking at a month layup here. But in the meantime, I'm probably just gonna work on some swing mechanics with my wooden club or whatever. But that's where I'm at. So I was really pissed when I left the golf shop this morning. And you know, it's been a wild ride with me breaking that shaft, now me breaking a club head within the first 2 times of me practicing. And I told them when I was at the golf shop this morning, to go back to that you know, I know what a club head sounds like when it breaks because I played baseball and it's the same sensation. It's just dull, it doesn't have a pop sound, and I'm like, it wasn't doing that before. And like, the problem is they know I'm not a golfer, but yet I've been golfing, you know, my whole life, and they know I'm, you know, maybe not the greatest. I'm a long drive guy, the only one. But the way they talked to me, they were just, you know, like almost talking down to me like I was stupid. Like, no, like that could never happen. Your club can never get damaged. And they just like, you know, poo-pooed me on anything that I was bringing up. And I'm like, dude, like this is a joke. So I don't know if I'm gonna call the manager tomorrow and just be like, look, man, like, I'm gonna be a good customer, like you can't work with me or anything, but we'll see what happens. But at least Crank is doing their due diligence and doing right by me, providing me, you know, a new club head. You know, granted I have some layup time, but that's where I'm at. So yeah, wild ride. Break shaft, downtime. Breaks club head, even longer downtime. So yep. No golfing, no long drive, but I guess it just gives me time to work on swing mechanics. So that is where I'm at in my long drive journey. Don't say that it hasn't been interesting, because it has been interesting. Now I'm just gonna be driving myself nuts with all this downtime that I have. So hopefully you guys, if you're getting into long drive, don't break your stuff the first couple weeks, because you'll be like me. But yep, very interested and excited to get this new Crank head when it comes in, because it's literally the newest model that they have. It's gonna be what all the other pros will probably be using. So I'll have the top of the line, so you can't say I have inferior product. Now I just have to work on all my swing mechanics and stop hitting from over the top. That'll be the biggest thing. But all right guys, keep crushing it, and I'll see you soon.